So, you've probably heard generative AI is changing just about everything, and the world of industrial design is definitely no exception. But the real story here isn't about replacing designers. Not at all. It's about giving them their most powerful tool yet, a creative co-pilot. Okay, let's get into it and see what that actually means. I mean, just look at this. On the left, you've got a classic, beautiful hand-drawn sketch, the starting point for so many amazing ideas. And on the right, a stunning, photorealistic product render that was generated by an AI in seconds. This mind-blowing leap from a rough concept to a polished hero shot is exactly what we're here to unpack. All right, so here's the plan. We're going to break this all down into 5 key parts. First, we'll talk about AI as a co-pilot. Then, we'll get into the single most important new skill you're going to need. After that, we'll literally dissect a perfect prompt, see it in action, and then we'll bring it all home by looking at why you, the designer, are more important than ever. So let's kick things off with the big one, the question that's on everybody's mind. Is this technology coming for my job? And the answer, to put it simply, is no. It's really all about shifting our perspective. And this, right here, this is the core of the new mindset. You got to think of AI less like some kind of automated designer and more like a supercharged pencil. It's an accelerator. It's designed to take your ideas and bring them to life faster and in more ways than you ever could before. So, how does this actually help in the real world? Well, first off, speed. You can get your ideas visualized almost instantly, way before you spend hours and hours in some complex 3D software. Second, exploration. I mean, just imagine testing out 20 different materials or tiny form changes in the time it takes you to go grab a coffee. And finally, presentation. You can create those super polished final images for a client pitch, even if you're still just getting the hang of your CAD skills. It's a game changer. Okay, so we've established AI is a seriously powerful tool. But like any advanced piece of kit, you have to learn how to use it, right? And this means your role kind of shifts a bit from being just the creator to becoming the creative director. And this lays out the new workflow perfectly. You're always at step 1. You're the creative director. You have the vision. The AI, that's just the execution tool. It follows your lead to generate that final visual. So you see, you're not just pushing a button. You're the one giving the precise, thoughtful instructions. And that brings us to the new core skill, prompting. Now, this is so much more than just typing a few words into a box. It's an art form. It's about crafting these really detailed instructions, using language to connect your creative vision with the AI's ability to actually make it. So if prompting is the skill, how do you actually do it? What does a good prompt even look like? Well, let's break down its anatomy. This right here is the aha moment. Seriously. On the left, you type in a cool-looking coffee maker, and you get back, well, something pretty generic and uninspired. But on the right, a super detailed prompt that specifies the form, the material, the context. It spits out a beautiful, coherent design. The quality of what you get out is 100% tied to the quality of what you put in. And you have to remember the AI has zero taste. None. It doesn't know dita-roms from a doodle, so you have to teach it. You need a rich visual vocabulary. Are you trying to get something minimalist and geometric with matte metals and clean finishes? Or are you going for something more organic and biomorphic with fluid forms and glossy plastics? Your words are the guide. And hey, here's a framework to make it easy. We call it the 5-block structure. It's simple. Start with the object itself, then define its aesthetics. Specify the color, material, and finish, the CMF. Next, describe the vibe. Is it rugged, friendly, super premium? And finally, put it in some kind of context or environment. This simple checklist basically turns your idea into a brief the machine can understand perfectly. Okay, so that's the theory. Now let's see how this powerful structure actually works in the real world with a couple of really cool examples. So, take this friendly toaster. The designer didn't just ask for a toaster. No way. They got specific. They asked for a rounded form, described it as pebble-like, called for recycled matte plastic, and put it against a soft pastel background. Every single one of those keywords translates directly into what you see, creating exactly that approachable, family-friendly vibe they were going for. But here's where AI becomes a legitimate superpower: exploration. Once you've got a core design locked in, you can iterate on it with unbelievable speed and efficiency.
Okay, let's say we're designing headphones. Here's our first version. By prompting for things like warm leather and classic colors, we get this really timeless premium look. Nice, right?
Now, watch this. We keep the exact same form, but we just change a few keywords in the prompt. We ask for matte black, a more technical finish, and bam! Instantly, we have a completely different product. This one feels stealthy, modern, totally tech-focused. And let's do it one more time. Let's try keywords like playful, pastel, maybe translucent plastic, and there you have it. A third totally distinct version for a younger, more modern audience. I mean, just imagine creating a full comparative board like this in a matter of minutes, not days. It's wild. So yeah, this is all incredibly powerful stuff. But, and this is really important, you have to remember that your brain, your taste, and your critical eye are still the most important components in this entire process. Because as amazing as this technology is, let's be real for a second. Is it a perfect tool? No, not even close. And this is where the human designer becomes absolutely essential. Look at this. On the left, you can see what people call an AI hallucination. It's a design that's, well, it's physically impossible, with totally distorted physics. The AI doesn't get ergonomics or how things are actually made. Your critical eye is what spots these crazy errors and guides the design to a refined, realistic final concept, like the one on the right. So as you start using these tools, it helps to keep a few key things in your back pocket. Always remember, you are the author. The AI is just the tool. It's your job to be that critical eye that catches those weird, physically impossible things. And when it comes to originality, the best way to go is to focus on describing attributes and vibes, not asking the AI to copy some specific designer's work. And finally, a little transparency goes a long way. Especially in school, it's just good practice to label any visuals you've made with AI. Let's end on this thought, because it really just perfectly sums up this new relationship between the designer and the technology. You remain the author. You are the source of the vision, the taste, and the intent. The AI is simply the brilliant, incredibly fast executor of that vision. So, now you have the framework. You understand the language. The only question left is probably the most exciting one of all. What are you going to create with your new Copilot?